Thank you, Mr. Chairman and gentlemen. Welcome to the committee, and thank you for your service. As we've discussed here in the committee, and three of us have had a chance to discuss in my office and other places, certainly the Army Transformation Initiative is going to refocus the Army towards future conflicts, and there's some real creative thinking, I believe, going into that, and I appreciate that. But as the Army begins this rapid modernization efforts, I'm hopeful we're going to continue to capitalize on my state, the state of Michigan's really unique commercial automotive expertise, including billions of dollars of research and development and advanced manufacturing talent that is located there. And at the same time, I think we also must ensure that ATI does not compromise readiness, innovation, and manufacturing. And I'm specifically concerned about potential impacts on some critical hubs like the Detroit Arsenal, as well as the Ground Vehicle Systems Center in Michigan. These sites, as I think both of you know, are central to the Army's modernization goals and the key for both shaping, for testing, and fielding the next generation capabilities. So my first question is for you, Secretary Driscoll. Do I have your commitment to work together to maintain both the Arsenal and GVSC's role in supporting the future for the Army's both wheeled as well as tracked vehicles?
I would love to work with you, Senator. And the ISV, the Infantry Squad Vehicle, it comes off of Chevy, Colorado, so it's dual use. The GM Defense have been incredible partners. I saw them a couple weeks ago as we were visiting, and what they have been able to make for our soldiers, and their CEO actually goes out into the field with our soldiers to figure out how can it be better, and then they will iterate those changes within a couple of weeks. So I completely agree that what has occurred in the vehicle manufacturing in Michigan is incredibly valuable for soldiers.
And my understanding, well, thank you for bringing that vehicle up. In general, you and I talked about that as well, but I'll ask you another question. But my understanding is when you leverage that commercial expertise, you mentioned the Silverado used for this particular vehicle, you can go from concept to prototype to low-rate production within 6 months. That doesn't happen very often in the procurement process. And that's my question for you, General George. Can you speak to how the Army is going to continue to leverage Michigan's automotive manufacturing and R&D efforts and kind of build on what Secretary Driscoll told us?
Certainly, Senator. I think this gets back to what we're looking at for our all across acquisitions, and we do have, Detroit Arsenal is important to us, but what's really important is our access to adopt and modify technology that's coming from the commercial sector. That's been, really important to us. And what GM and Ford and those companies spend on R&D and what they're doing with autonomous systems, in certain ways, what we're looking at is how do we restructure to make sure that we are taking advantage of that and not trying to build our own systems. We can't compete with what those two amazing companies can do up there. So what specifically do we need to do? And that's been our focus. And we've talked to a lot of the companies that are up there, and we'll continue. So that will continue to be important to us. I think we need to adapt a little bit how we're doing that to take full advantage of what the commercial sector in Detroit offers us.
Great. Well, thank you for both of you for that answer. General George, exercises like Northern Strike in northern Michigan strengthen our ability to work with our allies and deter potential conflicts. Northern Strike currently brings over 6,300 participants from across the U.S. as well as our international partners to Michigan's National All-Domain Warfighting Center. It's the largest training area east of the Mississippi, and both Admiral Paparo and the African Command Commander General Langley have praised Northern Strike for its strategic value as well as its importance to joint force readiness. So my question for you, sir, is do you support training exercises for increased interoperability with our partners, including multinational joint training exercises like Northern Strike? And will you also commit to working with me to expand both active and reserve components that will operate and train at Northern Strike?
Absolutely, Senator. I think and I've been up to Northern Strike, and I think it's very unique. I've been really proud of what the TAG and the Guard has done up there to make that a great training opportunity. And I think we're looking everywhere One of the things we need to do is expand our capability to do operate drones, operate in the electromagnetic environment, countering drones. So all of that, using those kind of spaces to do that will be critically important to us today and in the future.
And Senator, I think my office is coordinating with yours, but I am actually going up there this year, I think with you and your colleagues. So I look forward to seeing Northern Strike with you.
Well, I appreciate that. I look forward to that, and you'll be impressed like the general has been, I'm sure. So we'll welcome you there. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.